This is not your mother's middle-aged. No longer is waking up each day, living the wash, rinse, and repeat cycle acceptable. We have the life lessons, the relationships, the wins, and the losses with which to navigate to our highest self, without hesitation and without fear leading the way. We have been there and done that, and so we have so much to offer the world and each other. So join me on this journey, speaking to ordinary women doing extraordinary things for new insights, new ideas, new medical breakthroughs, and new life lessons. You will be inspired to find your best life here and now. My name is Wendy Charles Maguire, and this is your Second Wind podcast. Hey, Second Wind. Here we have a podcast where we're together on the camera, on the Zoom. And today I have a very special treat for you. This is part of starting our 2022 off with a bang and doing amazing things for ourselves. So today I have Stan Varnadoe.
You got it.
Did I say it right? Okay.
You said it right.
And he is a neighbor of mine who I didn't even know I had. And we just kind of ran into each other. He's been super kind and introduced me to some really amazing people. I'm very kind person here who has people over to his house and just so kind. Anyway, Stan does something called scripting, and I am so anxious to learn more about it and have you share. But that's like a side gig. Stan has the Look of Atlanta, which is a whole business unto itself. So I would love to have Stan tell you about his business and what he does, and then we'll jump into the scripting. Go, Stan.
Well, thank you, Wendy, for having me first off. And we're sitting out here at Serenbe and enjoying the weather because before long it's supposed to start raining again.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we want to just jump right into what we're here for. I own a design company, The Look of Atlanta. I've been in business 38 years, and I do interior design. I do event planning. I'm a former owner of a bridal shop for 28 years, and I had a full service chapel. We did flowers, catering, photography, limousine service, and then I was the designer of South Lake Mall, Macon Mall, Valdosta, Gainesville, in Rome, and all that kind of stuff. So I've been in the design business for a long time, and I live here in Serenbe. Well, not in Serenbe, but we both live in Chattahoochee.
Outside of Serenbe.
Yes, we live in Chattahoochee Hills, which is used to be Palmetto, Georgia. And we became friends. And funny thing is I ate at their restaurant before I actually got to meet that she was my neighbor. So we met each other, and we got to talking one night at one of my parties at my house, because I entertain a lot and I like the community to get involved. So I was just mentioning to her that I've been studying about scripting and scripting your life. It's basically, the story behind it is that you are writing your own story. Okay, we've all have our part of our life, and we've been writing our story forever, but that story's over with. It's a brand new way to do this. In other words, basically, we're sitting here on New Year's Eve. The year's over. So why not write your story now? What has happened is gone. So you let it go. I mean, you let it go. You throw it in the trash. You don't live in the past. We live in the right now.
Okay.
Scripting is all about the now. It is not about the past. It is not journaling. The biggest difference is in a journal, you write everything that happens in your life. But in a scripting network, you pick up a pen, you pick up the paper, you actually script. You do not, what you call, not cursive, but you do not print. You do not print it, you script it because it's the flow of the pen.
Oh, you have to use cursive.
Yes, you use cursive. It's the flow of the pen.
Okay.
So what happens in the concept of scripting is, the first thing that's happening is that you start the flow of the pen. Your eyes see it, your mind sees it, your subconscious sees it. So therefore, guess what you're doing is you are training your mind to think the way you're writing. So, but in a journal, you unfortunately write about what bad things have happened, your relationship. Well, you're going to do the same thing with scripting, but you're going to keep it on the positive. You're going to write it as if you already own it.
Okay.
So in the classes that I started teaching, and I studied under a lady for years, and I'm so happy to say Dr. Joyce Reynolds was my coach through all this. And then have a friend, which I had on your podcast, Linda Warren. She's a dear friend.
Yep.
And we went to the scripting classes for years and years, and we have learned so much from just staying positive. My whole outlook on life has changed tremendously. And I could wish I had my journal to lay out for the world to see, but it's not a journal. Again, it's scripting. So when I teach the class, what I ask you to do is the first thing you want to do is you want to write your story. I want Wendy to write her story. Tell me who Wendy is, as if Wendy is already that person. In other words, so if you want to be Queen of England, then you write about Wendy being Queen of England. You tell everything there is about Wendy being Queen of England. So we're going to talk about scripting real quickly. And there was basically, we're going to, in our journals or our scripting books or whatever you want to call them, the whole thing in life is that.
It's okay.
Do we need to pause it?
No.
They're coming up.
Okay, well, she'll cut it out.
Okay. We're going to write about the 5 basic principles in our book. In other words, and it's our book. It is not a journal. It is a book. We're writing our life story. So what you're going to do is you're going to write about your health and wellness. You're going to write about your finances. You're going to write about your relationships. You're going to write about your dreams and desires. And you're going to write about, did I say finances? I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay. All right. But, okay. So it was health and wellness, your finances, your love life, your, now I've lost my train of thought. Health, finances, your dreams and desires. And, okay, it'll come to me in a minute. I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, so basically what's going to happen is that, for instance, the best example that I can give you is in my life journey is every day of my life. I mean, like I say, I have a design business. So what I do is I'll write, Dear God, is the way I started off. But before I get too carried away, you can call it God, you can call it universe, you can call it the one, you can call it whatever you choose. You can call it Buddha if you choose to do that.
Higher source energy.
Exactly. Whatever you want to call it. I'm not trying to tell you that it's that, but I chose God for what I write about. So mine is basically my letters to God. So I would write, Dear God, today is going to be an amazing day. New doors are going to open for me for work, through phone calls, through my social networking through the day, and it's going to continue opening up new doors for success and well-being in my life. Thank you, God. I am ever so grateful. Then I go to my next little paragraph and I'll say, Dear God, I feel like $1 million today. I'm grateful. I'm thankful that I am living, breathing, seeing, smelling, touching, feeling that my day is going to be blessed. All negative energy will stay away from me now. Thank you, God, for another new day. As you see in these examples, as I'm talking to you, is I didn't say anything negative. And the biggest thing I keep saying is how grateful I am.
Right.
How grateful there is not enough gratitude in the world. Not there. I don't care what you do, you are grateful. If you give it back, guess what? It's going to come back. And that's what it's all about. So as you write, let's say you write about your finances. In other words, you're having some struggle with finances and you have a bill that's coming up. So what you're going to do is with that situation is you're going to say, Dear God or Dear Universe, but you're putting it out there. That's the whole thing. So you've started writing. I see Wendy receiving unexpected income today that will take care of the challenge that I am now facing, because the challenge will now go away and I'm letting it go now.
So would I talk about, that's a good example, because the challenge, I want to say, I would like to get sponsors for my podcast. So that would be, so I don't have to pay for the podcast.
Okay. Well,
and my Lyme disease. So how would I?
Okay, that's what I'm fixing to do. The first thing you said that to me was, how would I write that? Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're going to do is Wendy now receives sponsorships for her podcast that will take her to the next level of her dream and desires. It will happen in perfect divine order, all according to you. Thank you. I am ever so grateful. We go to our next thing. Yes.
Question.
Answer.
Question is, do I need to know what my dreams and desires are?
That's negative. Did you hear what you said? Do I need to know? You already know what your dreams and desires are. You've got to take it and embellish what's inside of you. You use, in other words, for instance,
I know.
You do know what you know. For instance, let's just throw a crazy thing out right now. You just said your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is me in your head. I now see me getting the sponsorships that I need. that's going to be corporate sponsors that will take me not only to the next level, they're going to take me to the TV world. And I'm now going to have my own TV show, and I'm going to have a talk show. And I'm going to now be able to interview and talk with celebrities, not just someone like you, Stan, sorry, but I'm going to talk to Oprah Winfrey. I'm going to talk to Hugh Jackman. I'm going to have it on my show. I'm going to expand this podcast to something that becomes international level, because it's all in your will, glory, and grace that you allow this to come to be. I ask for this now in your divine order, and it will come. And and the thing is, people say, oh, that's just too far out there. No, it's not too far out there. I'm going to throw an example at you on this.
Okay.
The best thing that's happened in the last 5 years. Okay, I decided after I wanted to sell my house in Mara, Georgia. I scripted, I'm going to sell my house now with your grace and glory and I wrote down a dollar figure, and I said, it will sell easily, effortlessly, in your divine time, not my time, in your divine time, for this much money. There'll be no hiccups, no closing costs, no anything. It's going to sell instantly and effortlessly because I've put it in your hands now. Thank you. I am ever so grateful. Boom. Call the realtor.
Wait, do you have to do that every day?
You do it every day.
The same thing?
No. You never write the same thing. You write the same thing, but you embellish it differently. I see where my house just sold for this much money, and now a new chapter of my life begins.
Okay.
But here's the greatest part about it. So I scripted that out. That was the morning. It was a Monday morning. I scripted that out. I called the realtor, met with them for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
As he put the sign in the yard, we drove up the street a block away. And as we're driving up, the phone rings in his phone and says, I need to show your house. I'm going to drop you off, and I will be right back and get you. So he drops me off, and I go on in and get my lunch, and he comes back about 40 minutes later and says, your house is sold. 40 minutes, guys, no lie, 40 minutes. And I looked at the realtor and I said, wait just a minute. You said putting it up in February, it would be June or July before it sells because of the way that people are with housing. They don't want to move their kids at the first of the year and start over, And so I said, okay, great. But the problem is now I don't know where to go. So that afternoon, I go in and I start writing, okay, God, you answered my scripting. You'll lead me now to the perfect and divine place. I'm not paying anything more than this much money. I see when I walk in this house, I see what I'm able to do as a designer to the home, but it's going to be very minimal. I'm not going to have to come out of pocket with big money to redecorate it, but it's going to, and I envisioned it in my head what I wanted. Immediately I said, oh, it's a full brick ranch. It's going to be on land.
You said full brick ranch?
Yes. Full brick ranch.
It's a full brick ranch.
It is. I literally wrote down, I said, it's going to be on the most beautiful God-forsaken property. And it's just going to have your light the minute I drive in the driveway. I couldn't write the check fast enough when I pulled up to the house.
Oh my God.
The best part about it is it was exactly the dollar figure I wrote down.
Is what they accepted.
They accepted it. No penny more. They took the offer. We closed in less than 30
You didn't go back
days.
and forth.
We didn't go back and forth at all. No haggle, no nothing, because I wrote, that's what I wanted. The other thing that's great about it is, this is wonderful because I'm a major Christmas freak, if those of you that know me, because I've been in that business forever and decorating the malls all the years. My house looks like a mall. You've been there.
It does, yeah.
So
it's
anyway.
Like, ooh. Yeah, everywhere.
People want to come shopping. That's what they want.
Yeah, that's true.
But the fun thing about it is that what I did is I lost a huge account because of COVID. I mean, a huge account because of COVID. So I was like, okay, I'm going to script now. So I scripted. Even though, now this is where you change that negative around. Even though I lost this account today, I'm going to get 3 accounts that will make it even more money to my profit than this one account I just lost.
But you're saying, so did you say, I'm going to get?
I'm going to get, and guess what? The next day I got, well, I like to brag, so I'm going to brag a little bit. I got Ken Foods, the salad dressing company. The very first phone call at 9 a.m., they were on the phone with me, and I had literally wrote it down at 9 o'clock that night.
Wow.
And I can go on and on and on. And in other words, it's what you want. You write it as if you already own it. I have a friend that has a car situation that she needed a car. And I told her, I said, script it. She goes, I don't have the funds. I said, did you hear what you said?
I don't
have the funds. So I told her, I said, let's just reword all this and you take what you want and write it the way you need to tonight. So I said, I see Gloria getting the funds unexpectedly enough to cover this brand new red car, sports car that I've wanted all my life. I can even smell the interior.
Not just any car. You want to go for the
Details.
expensive red car?
Whatever. You write down what your heart desires. You write it down, but you've got to elaborate it. You don't just say, I see me driving a brand new red car. No, that's not enough.
Oh, detail.
You got to detail it. You got to use, the best thing that the instructor always told us, use as many adjectives in your writing as you can write. I see this beautiful red new car with leather interior. And when I opened the door, the smell was so amazing. I could just feel it coming through my body, and it's called my name. And it was the car that I had written about. And now I'm grateful that it's in my possession. And I wrote that check because it came to me unexpectedly and effortlessly, easily. It happens. This is another wonderful thing that I'd like to tell a lot of people. That is so incredible, especially right now with COVID that's going on. When you go into a restaurant or you go in to pay somewhere, when you pull your money out, let's see, I think I've got $1 or $2 in my pocket. I may not have picked up any money. I didn't pick up any. We use my debit card.
Do you need?
If you've got it, let me just see.
I have a $5 bill.
That's fine. All right. Okay. All right. Well, the good thing about it is she hands it to me and it's all wadded up. Okay. So number one thing is she didn't respect her $5 bill. Okay.
My father was a big one with that.
You have to
He
respect
hated
it.
that. He's like,
You
he
respect
said
it.
respect the money.
You fold it and you get the creases out of it. You respect it and you put it in your wallet in order, ones, fives, tens, and so on. But now one thing you don't do, this happens. This is all about learning the process of scripting, because everything you do, the universe sees, God sees, Muhammad sees, whoever you want him to, who you believe in, it sees it. But if you don't appreciate what you have, then guess what's going to happen? Not going to continue if you don't appreciate and give gratitude for what you have. So by showing gratitude, it's how you handle your money. So if you'll do this, you'll be amazed. The first thing is, what's on the back of this bill right here and these letters right here? What does that say?
In God we
Trust.
look at my glasses. In God we trust. Yeah, but it looked like there was.
But here's the thing about it is, so when you go to pay somebody, I'm going to pay you. You say my bill was $5. Okay, I'm going to.
Your bill is $5 today, sir.
Okay, so I hand it to you, but I handed it to her upside down because the president has nothing to do with this dollar bill. It's all about in God we trust. I wouldn't have this $5 bill, or Wendy wouldn't have this $5 bill if she didn't appreciate what it says, because God gave her that money, and if she wants it to multiply, that's the next thing that you write in your finances. I said, what you do is you write down, I will receive unexpected income today, easily and effortlessly within your divine and perfect order. You can laugh at if you want to laugh, but here's the thing that's so great is I script that every day. I'll be walking across the floor and there's a quarter. I walk across the floor and there's a penny. But you know what? I scripted for unexpected income to come my way.
It doesn't matter.
When I pick it up, the first thing that comes out of my mouth or in my mind is, I am ever so grateful.
Wow.
Because it would not have happened if I had not have put it out into the universe. It doesn't mean that I'm going to win the $1,000. It doesn't mean that I'm going to script in my journal, I will win the lottery tonight. Okay, the lottery is what you can interpret it the way you want to. Yes, it's a good thing. It does help support the school systems. But it's not meant for you to just win it that way. Now, the other thing that's funny is when it comes to financial, I've had customers and friends call me and say, you know, I've been going through some financial troubles. My husband and I are divorced and we're having trouble. And so I told her, I said, are you scripting for the finances to come? And she said, I don't know how. I said, let me explain to you. You write from your heart, you write from your mind, and you don't let the negative take over. First thing you do is you say, I cancel it now. What's going on is not going to continue. It's going to leave me now. I'm releasing all of this negative energy to open my vortex, to allow all of that negative energy to leave so I can write my story the way it needs to be written. So then she started writing. I now received unexpected income. And she went ahead and wrote down an amount. And I said, that's not always a wonderful thing, but I've done it myself. But what it is you're expecting unexpected income to come to you now for a purpose of just moving on. That's what you want to write. I want to write it because I need it to help me move on. You've got to give it a purpose as well. She called me up and she said, "You're not going to believe this." And I said, "What?" She says, "I went to the mailbox this afternoon." And she said, "Not only did I get a check for what my husband owed me, it was all the back alimony that he owed her."
Whoa.
And it was over $10,000 check. And she says, "Stan, I don't know what I could do except call you and tell you thank you." I said, "You don't tell me thank you. There's something higher than me that told you what to do.
You're just the vehicle.
I am only the vehicle." In other words, my job is just to get into your head and get you to realize and embellish your life story the way you need to.
Embellish your story.
The
Okay.
biggest thing that people do is, let's say, unfortunately, we all do it. We get into an argument or either someone says something and our fuse goes off. That's life. It's life. But you can either dwell on it and you can make yourself sick. You can worry about it, or you can cancel it immediately. So in other words, you can use the word cancel. You can use the word disconnect, whatever function works for you. Me, if you see me get my fuse go off, I kind of go with this blank look of something on my face. And in my head is Frozen song, "Let It Go." And I sing, "Let it go, let it go, let it go." And I can actually take a deep breath, and that leaves me. It immediately, I release it. I'm not going to dwell on it. So many people dwell on negative energy. Negative energy is destructive. And now I'm getting to the point now, I shake your hand for the first time. I know whether I like you or not.
Oh, yeah. The first
I never
thing.
had
You're
that
saying it
before.
from the energy.
From the energy coming from the hand. In other words, I feel it, it'll come over my whole body, but I immediately say, "Let it go, let it go, let it go." A candle. I love this the thing that I've stressed to people, and they think it's crazy, but even the employees that work for me, when we do some of our work, I'll grab a candle and pull it out because I can feel the energy when I walk into a room, whether it's negative or positive, and I have to clear the air. So I take a white or vanilla type candle and you light it and you put it out and you will watch the wick. And if it's black, like we do a lot of times, the black wick just keeps smoking and doing all this dancing, and that's negative energy in the air. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to stand there and I'm going to look at that candle and I'm going to say to myself, "Let's now release the negative energy from this room." And guess what happens? Within a matter of minutes, it goes to a perfect flame.
But isn't that, okay, so wait. So isn't that smoke because your wick is too long?
No, because here's what I'm fixing to move to the next step. So I used to always put it at my checkout counter when people would come into my place.
Okay.
And now some of my crew that work for me, they say I'm a little voodoo-ish because a customer comes up that's in a foul mood or angry, the candle goes black and it starts smoking.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then it's
Okay.
even wilder is as they walk away, it goes back to normal. And you can feel the tension that comes through it. And that's what's so wild about releasing it in your energy. So when you script again about how pleasant your day is going to be. The sun is shining. It's shining bright through my soul. It's going to be God's grace and glory. It's going to be Muhammad's grace and glory. It's going to be Buddha's grace and glory to bless me through my day and get me to where I need to be. When I get into my vehicle every morning, I do my self-meditation or my manifestation, and I do it a little differently. And first thing I say to me when I crank my car, I'll say, "Bless me from point A to B with your grace and glory, and I'm ever so grateful that I will get there safely and in divine time." When I put that divine time on there, most cases I'm on time. There's a few times I don't put that in there, and my friends will vouch that I'm usually never on time. But when I put that divine time out there, guess what happens? I'm usually there early. I did it when I came here today.
Oh, and I was late.
And she was late. Yeah, she was.
It's a little late.
But in other words, it's all about putting it out there and speaking it and living it. Then what's nice about with your scripting, as you script about your life, your story, you script about your finances and everything, the nice thing is it's on paper. In 2 or 3 days, you can go back and you can read it and see if it came true or not. But in most cases, as you begin to do it on an everyday basis, you're going to remember, oh my God, I scripted that. Oh my God, I scripted that. Oh my God, I scripted that. And it's the most wonderful thing about it. But then what you want to do is let's say that first nice journal that you bought, you're going to write in other words, it's now complete. I recommend that you only keep that for maybe 3 or 4 months and you destroy it. Because again, that part of Wendy's life, that part of my life is over. I can't go back and change it. I'm going to move forward to tomorrow, to next week. You just keep writing about your future and it's going to come to be. Sitting here right now with Wendy, I scripted that this podcast is going to be taken and it's going to take us to the next level. I'm not going to lie. I want you to come to my classes after seeing this. I want you, and I'm not going to charge you a nickel. I don't care if you here's what I'm going to say to you when you walk in and sit down and we start going through the process.
You're going to have to do it on Zoom so people can.
Oh, I could do that too. I'll figure out how to do it.
You're going to have to open it up.
But here's what it is.
I tell people all over the country.
That's very true. What I tell people is I'm not going to charge for the class. If you get something out of it, then graciously donate a few dollars. So I can just keep things going. In other words, because a few places are going to charge, unfortunately. I'm not getting a free place every time. And I want to keep going to the same places all the time to help you get stronger and more strength in your scripting, because it makes a difference in your life. In other words, I've even scripted about, and Wendy's here in person, she can see that I've lost a lot of weight. I've lost over 16 pounds because I'm scripting it. I'm scripting about my health getting better. I'm scripting about eating more healthy. I'm scripting about getting the negative energy and spirits out of my life. I don't even let anyone, there was an employee confronted me with a situation. They were furious with me. And I just stopped it right there and said, let it go, let it go, let it go.
In your mind, you're saying that?
No.
Oh, you said that out loud?
I said it out loud to the employee. Let it go. I can't change what just happened.
Right.
Let's move from this and move forward. Well, they huffed and puffed for a few minutes. And I said, I'm going to ask you one more time to either let it go or you need to leave for today and come back fresh tomorrow.
Oh, that's fair.
And they looked at me kind of funny and they actually hugged my neck and said, thank you. And we moved forward.
Wow.
Because again, guys, we can't hold on to negative energy. It will destroy you. The worst thing that people do is depression. That's negativity. Get it gone. Let it go. And people say, I can't, never could. Can't, never could. And my mother, example, I hate to say, my mother she sees a glass half full. Danny sees a glass half full. No, it's not half full, guys. You have to be grateful for what you have. I can't stress enough at what scripting is.
The water is where it needs to be.
Thank you. That's exactly right. What she just said. Say that one more time.
The water is where it needs to be.
In other words, it's not that
without judgment.
It's not. Yes, it's not because it's half full. It's where it's supposed to be.
Or half empty.
Yes,
right.
But it's still where it was supposed to be at that time. Right. But you know what? But there's still water in the glass. Yeah. That's the bottom line. There's still water in the glass. Yeah. That's the whole ticket behind scripting. I could go on and on and on, but we only have limited time. But the point I'm trying to tell you guys, it will change your life. It will be the greatest thing that you've ever done. And again, if something negative comes up, do not write it that way. Okay. Change it immediately. Even though Wendy slapped me across the face today, I'm going to let it go because she had intent. But guess what? I dissolved the intent. And we will move on. We will get through this because it's in your perfect and divine order.
Oh, yes. Okay. There's lots of situations. Yes. Yes. Where people are upset that someone's upset with them. So how would you script that? Like, for example, Corey, my brother, sister, called me yesterday and has COVID and unintentionally gave it to his dear friend. She is mad at her, and she believes that Corey believes that his friend will no longer be his friend because of this.
Okay, and all that she said was negative. From this first thing that came out of her mouth about it till then, it was negative.
Right.
So you got to turn that all around. Unfortunately, my friend gave my other friend COVID, not knowing But it's all going to heal itself. Not only the COVID will heal itself, but the relationship will be healed in perfect divine order and time and bring us closer together.
So can I script that?
Yes, you can.
For Corey?
You totally can. You will script. I ask now that Corey releases the negative energy from her soul and spirit now, because when we release negative energy, guess what happens? The law of attraction takes over and brings us back positive energy.
Okay.
When people with finances, when people say, oh my goodness, I don't have enough money to pay for whatever, you just threw it out there.
You're asking for
You just
not enough money.
Not enough money. You didn't word it right. You've got to turn around and say, oh my, looks like I'm going to be running close, but I'm putting it out there now that money will come to me unexpectedly, easily, and effortlessly to solve this problem at hand. Thank you. I'm ever so grateful. And that is what it's all about. It's saying thank you and be grateful for what we have. It's not that you carry the designer bag, you drive the designer car. You have a car that runs and you say, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I am grateful. I can't say that word enough.
I can hear people now saying, I'm grateful that I have this car, but.
Yeah, but that's it. And that's negative.
And that
You
makes
got to
it negative.
stop the negative. And that's why scripting becomes so important. Because again, you've not written that word but. You're not written that word can't. You've not written that word it'll happen tomorrow. It's going to happen now. In other words, as I close all of my verses or whatever, every so often, about 4 or 5 paragraphs down, I'll put, and so it is.
And so
now.
it is.
And now is always in big letters with an exclamation point. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is now. I want it now. I don't want it tomorrow. I want it now.
Okay. So how would somebody like me, so they're listening, they're like, okay, I want to try this scripting thing. This sounds great. How do you start?
You're going to first get you a journal or a beautiful book to write in. And what the first thing you're going to do is you're going to dedicate your journal or your scripting book. And what I mean by dedicating it is you can dedicate it to your husband and, dedication to him, write out a dedication to him. You can write out a dedication to your dog, to your cat, to whatever. Mine is my letters to God. You can first do that. Then what you're going to start with is you're going to start your dream. What does Wendy's life look like? First thing I see is Wendy's health is going to improve tremendously. I'm not going to have to take all the medications that has been put before me because within God's grace and glory, I'm going to be healed. I'm going to feel like $1 million. I can already feel the energy coming through my soul now because I'm already letting the energy move now as I write this down on this paper because I feel great, inspired, and I feel like this will make the biggest difference in my life. And so it is.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
So, and you are having some health issues. So what you do is you start writing about your health. I'm getting up tomorrow morning. I'm going to feel like $1 million. I am going to have the most energy I've had in a week. My soul is going to be shining bright. I release to you now all negative energy. So my vortex will be absorbing the law of attraction all day long that will lead me to new and perfect order. Yes.
So the first thing I thought of was the medication thing and not having to take as much medication. So I'm thinking that I would write, my health will improve just by the energy coming forward to me. And then I thought to myself, and when I wake up and I take the medicine that I do have to take, I won't feel nauseous. But that's not right, is it?
No, because that was still negative.
But I don't want to be nauseous.
No, but that's not, you worded it to where you were doing so good until you got to the fact that the medicine I have to take.
Well,
okay. I'm going to just change that little phrase. The medicine I have to take. The medicine that was given to me to cure my situation will happen to the point I won't have to take it anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
But what do we do about the nausea in the meantime?
The nausea will now go away. In other words, because I am getting stronger and better each and every day.
Okay.
I will reach a point to where I will be able to throw all this away and I will not have the symptoms that are causing me problems at this time.
Okay.
And so it is.
Okay. That makes sense.
Because again, it's all in the wording. The wording is the most important thing that you can do, guys. It's the wording. And sometimes I have done it myself. I write it down and I go back and read it and I said, oh, that's not what I meant. And I write it again. And then it makes sense to me because I did go back. But in other words, I didn't actually wipe it out because I need to see what I wrote and I want to improve that. And like I was talking about, you can script about the same thing each and every day, but you got to just change your wording. Reframe it, exaggerate it more. Not only is Wendy going to get up tomorrow morning and feel like $1 million, I walked and saw myself in the mirror and I saw the person I'm in love with.
Ooh.
Yourself. Because if you don't love, you have to love yourself before you can love anybody else.
Yeah, yeah. So
and that's the biggest problem with people too. In other words, that is a huge note we can talk about in scripting classes, but so many people don't love themselves.
Yeah.
And they can't understand why their relationships are so horrible.
Right.
And you have to write about that because if you don't love yourself, you don't love anyone. So, but guys, just listen to me. If you don't believe in scripting, you think I'm crazy, come see me and we'll talk a few minutes and I guarantee you before it's over with, I'm going to have you convinced that scripting will change your life. And it will. It has changed mine in so many ways. And it is
amazing.
I'm just so grateful. In other words, and I just keep scripting and scripting and scripting. And in other words, I script every night before I go to bed.
That's the question. When
you can script any time that it's your time.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Time. No.
Whenever you're inspired.
I script, yes, whenever you're inspired, or it's like there's times I can't even get home and stop dreaming and writing my story. I mean, my thing is that what's going to happen, I'll be honest, I've scripted this. You know what's going to happen? I'm getting my TV show. I've already scripted about it. I'm going to have my own design show. I'm going to have my own shopping show. Ooh. And I've already started that with my scripting because last year I scripted that I'm going to do shopping events with my customers. I put together a little thing. I took them on a day trip to the mart.
Yeah, you did that.
Yes. And the women had a blast. We had a beautiful lunch. We came home and they were just tickled to death because the car was loaded with stuff that they would have never gotten. But it's going to happen, guys, as long as we put it out there to the universe. The universe hears everything we say. And that's one thing, too, about scripting you will learn. Yes, it goes on paper, but when you speak it to the universe, it's going to happen.
So we should say out loud what we're writing?
I always, so
you write it and then you say it?
You can say it. That will strengthen it.
Okay.
That honestly will strengthen it. I've done that several times. But you don't necessarily have to because your mind's already seen it. Your eyes have seen it. Your mind has already knows it and your subconscious knows it. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen as long as you keep the process going. And the main thing is just be cautious of not having negative words. And the littlest word is negative. The word but is the worst one of all.
Yeah, I just used that.
Yes, that is the worst one of all. In other words, it's going to happen, guys.
I bet if is a bad one.
Yes, if shouldn't even exist in the language because if is probably the worst word out there.
Maybe.
And yes, maybe.
I'll try.
That one makes my rear end just.
Sorry.
I hate that. I'll try.
I'll try. It means you're not really.
And as a designer, here's the best thing about me. Okay. Everybody kids me about wearing as many hats as I wear, but I control the hats I wear, when I wear them and when I don't wear them. I mean, I have been in the entertainment business. I have sang professionally around the world. I have done flowers, catering, photography, limousine service. I do interior decorating. I do commercial decorating. I work at the Atlanta Merchandise Market. I work at Dallas. I work at Vegas. I work at Chicago. I get to travel because of my work. I have done celebrities' homes. I have done it all, but I'm not through. My journey is just beginning. I've been in movies. I've been in, I just did a crazy thing for Court TV.
We love Court TV.
I just did it in other words, and if you've seen it, then that's great. But what it is that Court TV is, some people don't want to be on television and some people do. But what it is they hire people to be the person that don't want to put their life on TV, but yet they put their story on TV.
Oh.
So yes, I've had that experience, and it was wonderful.
Oh, that's cool.
I've done it all, guys, and I'm not through yet. In other words, where I live on the property, I'm moving forward to expand it because God blessed me with such a beautiful place, and we're doing events there.
Mhm.
Wendy's been to the parties. I mean, I'm having one
The 8th?
January the 8th.
Yep.
It's a cocktail and hors d'oeuvres, and it's for the homeless. I'm putting together blessing bags.
You're always giving back, though. Your things are not like to benefit you.
No, it's
They're
totally,
always to benefit or add to
yes.
sharing
yes.
and putting it out there
Yes.
and
Well,
helping.
Yeah. Well, like, it's funny you said that. Years ago, I was with the Jerry Lewis Musculodystraphy Telethon. I was the director of Atlanta Talent Park when they would do the cutaways to come to Atlanta. I was the one that had it staged here in Atlanta, just like
Oh,
in Vegas
wow.
or wherever.
Yeah.
And I did that for 4 years, and then I left them and went to March of Dimes. I just did the Georgia Festival of Trees, which I'm proud to say is back in Atlanta. It was here for 22 years. The company retired. A lady has picked it up, and I jumped in with both feet. And it was funny. I was there doing my tree for the festival, and it sold for way above what it should have sold for, but it was for charity, and that was all it's about. I was thrilled to be a part of it, and now they've asked me to jump in because I'm one of the original people of Atlanta that has jumped right back into the boat, and some other people haven't stepped up yet, but we know they're going to because I'm scripting about it. And we're going to get the sponsors we need. We're just like you. You're going to get your sponsors. I'm going to add it to my journal this evening. I'm going to say
Thanks.
Wendy's going to have the perfect sponsors that are come to her. And again, it's going to be more than a podcast. She's going to go national, internationally. She's going to just explode this thing because she's doing it from her heart. And that's what's going to make it even more popular. Because something that she has done is when I asked her why she did this at the very beginning, is she said, I love podcasts. I listen to them when I'm walking my dogs and walking the land. And so she says, I listened to them and I just got inspired by them. And she started learning and like about scripting. When she came to my house that night, she was just freaking. And I do Reiki, and I've been certified with Reiki, and I'm now
I didn't even know that.
I'm
oh my
moving,
gosh.
I'm moving forward. I can do mystic. I can do readings. I can do all this now that I'm learning. And it's just because I have put it out there into the universe to bless me, and I'm grateful for it.
And you opened your vortex.
Exactly.
So stuff came in.
I opened my vortex. I keep mine wide open. I am the first one to tell somebody that comes to me and says, can you do this? Well, if you said the word can, yes, I can. In other words, can is a positive word. Can't, no, but can. And the one thing I will say is if I can't do it, I will be the first one to tell you, this is not me. I just don't have what it takes for this because I put my heart into everything I do. I just have to. That's who I am. And so you can do that with your scripting. You can just point blank say, I will.
Will is a good word.
Will is a strong word.
Okay.
It's a strong word. And you
I
just
will
believe.
help you.
That's
I
right.
will do this.
Yes.
I will get this done.
Yes, I will get
Okay.
this done. And be honest with your heart when you say, I will get this done. Because unfortunately, I will get this done doesn't always manifest properly because so many people have good intentions, but they have overloaded their plate. But if you can get your mind, scripting is training your mind. That's the root cause. Scripting is training your mind.
Training your mind.
To what's out there. And if we don't, basically we're one with God, or we're one with the universe. We have the gift. So why don't we share that gift?
Yeah.
If we have that much power, it says in all the books in the universe, it says we're one with one. We are one. Well, if we're one, then let's take advantage of that.
Yeah.
In other words, we have the strength to heal. We have the strength to prosper. We have the strength to not suffer. We can clear our minds and our hearts and our souls, and it will happen.
All the cells, biology belief, all the cells always work and conspire together to fix their situation. We are a bunch of cells.
That's right. Well, the main thing too is so cool is when you said that, which is really great, is basically this chair is energy. This microphone is energy. This computer is energy.
They're all just going,
I'm energy.
Yep.
She's energy. So if we're all energy, why can't we come together and vibrate together in their energy force to be positive and not be negative.
I think we need that right now.
We need it more than ever because of what's
Yeah.
going on in our world.
Yeah.
But we also need to be scripting as hard as we can to include what's going on in the world. We just keep saying that it's in your grace and glory that things will get better, and we have faith and belief in that it will get better, and not be negative and not let CNN poison our mind. And sadly, CNN is good, but let's face it, media is poison.
It is poison.
They don't tell the truth anymore. How many times do you hear a positive story?
Not that often.
Once in a blue moon at the end of Channel 5 News, they'll say, let's tell you this wonderful thing that happened. But it doesn't happen that often. We thrive on negativity because negative is our ego. Ego will kill us. In other words, our ego is what our biggest problem in life is. It's not who you are. If you lead from your heart, your mind, that's wonderful. But if you allow ego to get in, that is instant negativity.
Well, I have one more question.
Okay, I got an answer.
2 more questions.
Okay.
Maybe 3, but definitely 2. One is, when you are scripting, do you have to be realistic?
Scripting is.
Do you see what I'm saying?
But in other words, part of scripting is also your dreams. I even said that's one of the 5 things that we do.
But.
And so in your dreams, you can dream about this vacation home that's coming to be, and you
can't say, I would like to be able to, I see myself flying.
Right. What's wrong with that? Do you not see yourself flying?
No, I don't, that's not realistic.
But that's not the point. The reason you said that's not realistic, you said not realistic. If you want it to be realistic, you'll say, I see Wendy jumping out of a plane next week, and she's going to have the thrill of her entire life because I've seen it, I can feel it, and I know it's going to happen.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
In other words, you went from a negative, but we're going to turn it into a positive.
I got you.
So in other words, like I said, with the realistic thing, when I said about my house, that was totally realistic. I mean, I wasn't dreaming. I mean, it had to happen. I had to have a place to live.
You had like an ounce of realness to that, to like, you didn't say, I want to sell, like being realistic would be if your house is worth $500,000 to say you want to get 2 million for it in a market that won't support that. That's not realistic.
But no, there's still a way around that. You could you wouldn't actually put the dollar value on that because of the economy. But in other words, you would, as you're writing, you come up with something that is realistic. So like, for instance, at my house right now.
So be a little realistic. You
got to be a touch of realistic, but you don't have to be. How would I word it? Okay, best example is I know what I paid for my house right now. I know what the market says my house is worth. So I need to say, what is realistically, well, here's a better example. A movie producer approached me about my house. First thing I got a phone call, would you sell your house? I said, no, my house is not for sale. And, well, are you sure it's not for sale? Everything has a price tag. I said, yes, it does. I said, and so the lady spoke up and says, well, what's a figure? And I threw a number at her, and she goes, is it okay if I get back with you? And I said, sure. So she called me back, and sure enough, they said that was fine. But they wanted to know a little bit more about the house. So I sent them a video of the house. And the movie producer called back and said, not only do they want the house, they want it furnished. And I said, the house is not for sale. But then I stepped back and said, maybe it is for sale. In other words, everything in life does have a price tag, but what I have to do now is I either have to script about it selling, or I have to decide that this is my perfect and divine home. And in that question, I have to decide in my soul, my heart, my mind, how am I going to journey this now? How am I going to write this out now?
Because now you got this money dangling.
But money is the root of all evil. We all know that.
Yeah.
We all know that. And so is it worth giving up what you wanted in your life? Or we got to do some soul searching. So in that, I'm going to script out, I've been faced with this opportunity in front of me. Is this what you have me do? And I'm not saying, I'm asking for guidance. Is this what you'll have me do? If so, I see these things happening, and I'm going to start my elaboration. I see me moving not only into one home because of what I'm receiving, I'm now going to have two homes, and they're going to be one in this location, one in this location. I'm going to also have enough money to have a brand new automobile, and this is the car that I'm choosing, and I'm going to write all about the car, and I'm going to write about how I'm going to furnish all this stuff. So I'm going to take it to my dream situation, and you know what? If I put it out there, and if I want it from inside, guess what's going to happen?
That's going to happen.
It's going to happen. If I write it the way I want it, as if I already own it.
Do you also write about the flip side to that? If this is your divine and the sale won't happen, do you write about that as well?
First thing is that I won't write about the won't happen.
Oh, shoot. This is really, that's why you got to do classes. The
That's-
alternative.
But the alternative is still somewhat negative. If you think about that word, it's still negative.
The other scenario?
I would never write the other scenario. That's saying that I'm not letting it happen. I just don't write about it at all. In other words, if I'm faced with something that I'm not sure
I'm grateful where I am.
Yes.
If you choose for me to stay there.
There you go.
Okay, that's how you would.
Yes, that's how I
Okay.
translate. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But in other words, but first off, I probably wouldn't script about that. In other words, because I'm not concerned. That's not a concern that I have in my 5 things right now. I'm not really concerned about moving. If I was concerned about moving, I would immediately, or if I was concerned about the money, yes, I would immediately script. But now if I get okay, let's just say I did get confronted. If you walked up and said, here's the check, it's exactly what you asked for. When are you moving? So then I would say, you've now opened the new door for me. And again, what I just said a minute ago, okay, now I'm going to live in this house here, and I'm going to now live in this house here, just like I said. But so in other words, I've accepted what just came to me, because what's also, I have to go back and think about what I've been writing all these years. Unexpected income will come to me now. In other words, so did that additional money come to me to give me money to help others, to help this charity down the street? I have to take that money that has come to me unexpectedly, because I didn't put it out there that I wanted to sell my house, but it came to me anyway.
Gotcha.
It's still coming in a positive note. And I am constantly writing out there, unexpected income will come to me to allow me to pay my way forward, to allow me to open up a new business, to allow me to, and when I say allow me to, believe me, guys, when I say my new building, I've already wrote my building. It's the most beautiful building. It's exactly the building that I want to open my business again. I'm going to have all of these different things in my building, and I have listed out exactly what's going to be in my new building. And it's going to make my life easily and much easier and less confusing. And my employees are going to be jumping for joy, and my customers are going to be so excited to come shop with me. And I just keep on going. I keep exaggerating it and making it bigger and making it more real. And I can smell it, I can see it, I can touch it, I can feel it. I bring it to life. You bring your own life to life.
Okay. And then my next question is, and I ask this of all my guests, how do you keep yourself motivated every day to do the things that you do?
I script about it. I script about everything.
But isn't there a day where you're like, I don't really feel like scripting today?
If I don't script, I make up for it the next day. But believe me, but once you get in the habit, you won't miss. You won't miss it. My journal is my life. In other words, it is my written story. I've said, let's write a new story. It's 2021 is behind us. When me and Wendy started this podcast, that's over with. I can't go back and change what I've said. I can't go back and change what we just talked about. It's already been spoken. It's behind me. I'm only going to move forward. I'm going to live in the present. I'm going to live in the right now. I'm not going to live in anything that took place this morning. That's water under the bridge. I can't go there.
Right.
I can only go forward. I can only look at what's next. I can only focus on it. And if negative energy slaps me in the face, I let it go.
Let it go.
I let it go. Or either I cancel that thought. I cancel it. I don't let it in. I walk away from it. And I can tell you, like I say, time and time again, I meet someone face to face for the first time. Even the way they said hello, sometimes my skin crawls because it was negative. That person is just dripping with negative energy. And I don't need that. I don't need it. We've got to stay positive, especially for 2022. And guys, come see me, call me, email me, whatever. I'm here for people. And that if I can help with just a little bit, That's all that matters.
Give us your email. Give us how to get in touch with you.
Best way to get me is This Lion Roars, I am a Leo, at gmail.com. And
This Lion Roars. It'll be in the show notes as well.
Yes, This Lion Roars at Gmail. And I'd like to say I'm a Leo. You treat me right, I purr like a kitten, but treat me wrong and my claws are mighty sharp.
Well, Stan, thank you so much. I am excited to start scripting. I know I tried it once when you first told me about it, and something actually did happen and come true. And I can't remember what it is now, but I remember saying, oh my gosh, I scripted that.
That's right.
And I remember that. And I don't know why I'm not doing it. I've been preoccupied, I think.
Well, everybody,
I'll get back
you
to
just
it.
got to get yourself just
I
really
need the
motivated.
classes.
You need to get motivated. And that's what I'm going to start just as soon as possible. Here in Chat Hills, I think that we're going to be at the library that's free. And I'm never going to charge. I'll figure a way.
I think we
not
need to
charge.
see how we can get it going
Yeah.
for people.
Yeah, and
who are
I'd
watching
like to
get
figure
on.
out a way to do a Zoom
We can do that.
and figure it out.
I'll help
Yeah,
you.
you'll help me through it? Okay.
Yeah, we can do
Yeah.
that.
I'd love it.
All right. And until next time, breathe in your second wind. Big hug.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, doll.
Oh, so good.
Thank you for listening today. I hope that something you heard made you smile, made you think, and made you feel. If these incredible stories empowered you, awakened you, or left you feeling inspired, make sure to share with a friend and write us a review on iTunes so we can continue to change lives through this content. Make sure you tag us while you're listening on our Facebook group, My Second Wind, or hit the link in the show notes to join the conversation. Until next time, go ahead and breathe in your second wind.